Everyone to Sirua Darts Group unveiling unveiling of Peter Wachiuri, who will be participating in the Modus Super series in the UK, Portsmouth, later this month. My name is Jeff Morelli. I'll be your MC today. To begin with, I'll have a brief introduction about Sirua Darts. Sirua Darts Group is a leading darts marketing events company. Under Sirua Darts Group, we have Buffalo Darts Group and the Buffalo franchise. The Buffalo Darts Group is in charge of managing professional darts in Kenya in association with the Kenya Darts Association. We have that mandate from the federation. We also have the Buffalo's franchise. This is an affiliate of the Africa Darts Group from South Africa. Africa Darts Group runs a league, darts league across the Africa continent, and Buffalo Darts was the first franchise in this country. Now we have about 3 franchises. So being the inaugural franchise, we introduced the professional play in Kenya. And we ran a league called the Africa Darts Series under the Buffalo franchise. And for the Buffalo Darts Group, we have been running various events, intercontinental events. That is the African Continental Tour. We also recently, in September 2024, had the first Africa qualifier for the PDC World Championship. This is the biggest event in the world for the darts, and we brought it to Kenya, courtesy of Buffalo Darts Group, in association with the Kenya Darts Association, as well as the Africa Darts Group. And we had a lot of success in that event. We had one of our players reaching the final in the Africa Continental Tour. That is Peter Wachiuri. He lost by 1 leg. He also reached the final of the PDC World Championship qualifier. He lost by a single dart. That's how close it was. He lost 8-7, but he missed the match dart at double 17. But I think we had a lot of success. We had in the 2 events over 100 participants across Africa. We had participation from Zambia, South Africa, Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, just to mention a few of the participants that were able to participate. It was the biggest ACT and PDC qualifier in terms of entry, and this we managed to do it here in Nairobi. Still have another event coming, so I think that will be communicated a bit later. And now I want to introduce the Kenya Darts Association Chairman, Mr. Wilson Gidai, to say a word to everyone. Karibuni sana, members of the media, players, our partners, Winmau, and everyone else who has been able to join us. Kapla, Sam, thank you very much for joining us. Mr. Gidai, karibu.
Thank you, Chairman, Sirua Darts Group, Bwana Jeff. Good morning, everyone. I'm Wilson Gidai, the Chairman, Kenya Darts Association. It's the only organization mandated by the government to run darts in Kenya. And we run darts in association with other groups, like Sirua Darts Group and others, so that we manage this game and make it prosperous. Kenya Darts Association was registered in 1976 and has been running darts in Kenya all those years. We have the leadership of Kenya Darts Association who are elected by members to run darts, and therefore we are public, anybody can join. Darts, you can join the federation. Nobody is all are allowed to join the association. We play darts throughout Kenya, in different places, in different months. We are going to Mombasa in April, we are going to send the invitations. And we are happy that Wachiuri is now going to UK. We hope he'll do well. We wish him the best. And in what he did in Kenya, we are happy. And we hope he'll do the same. He'll beat those guys and become victorious. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gidai, for that brief remark about Kenya Darts Association. Now, we want to introduce our panelists, but before that, I'd like to mention where we are here. We are here partly to unveiling of the Sirua Darts Group to everyone, and also to celebrate one of our own. And this is the first time we have a Kenyan player, a professional player, going to the UK to play professional darts. That's Mr. Peter Wachiuri will be participating in the Modus Super series. This is a one of the biggest events in the world and also in the UK. And he'll be participating from the 24th of February to the 26th. That is the first stage. Then if he qualifies, he'll be able to play in the finals week that will be played from the 28th, still in Portsmouth, UK. Now we have a panel discussion, and I would like to introduce the first panelist and the host of the panel discussion. That would be Dan Karori. Dan Karori is a former basketball player. You can see his height, but now he's a darts player. I think the years cannot allow him to play that basketball any longer now. So he's also the Secretary General of the Sirua Darts Group and Buffalo Darts Group. The second panelist, Manpreet Kalsi, please come forward. Manpreet Kalsi is a former hockey player. You can see all the panelists are very active sportsmen. He played for hockey. He's even gone international playing hockey, but now he plays darts. He's also the vice chairman of the Buffalo Darts Group. Mr. Manpreet has also played darts for a long time, 15 years. How long? Like 15 years. So he can give Peter Wachiuri a run for his money. So he's been playing darts. He's a very good player. He's the winner of the Africa Darts Series league. He was the topmost the Pro Elite League in the Buffaloes, and he finished with an average of almost 80. He played around over 30 matches. That's very commendable. And then the next panelist, the legend, Mr. Geshia Kubai. Karibu, Mr. Kubai. Mr. Kubai has played darts for over 46 years. He started playing darts in 1979. He was a former official of the Festival of Darts. I know everybody remembers the Festival of Darts that was being played. The KBL Festival of Darts was being aired by KBC in the 90s. He was an official. He also finished runners-up in the Sarit Classic. I think that was one of the biggest events in 1985. He missed a 9-darter with 1 dart. So he's also a very good player. He still plays. He plays for Matumbo Darts Club, one of the oldest clubs in Kenya. I think Mr. Kubai will tell us when it was started. So Mr. Kubai is a legend in the game of darts in Kenya. He's a pioneer and has been very formidable in terms of growing young players and mentoring young players. And the man of the moment, the final panelist, is Peter Wachiuri. Peter Wachiuri is a man that is going to the UK to represent Kenya and North of Africa in the Modus Super series. For the first time, we have a player from Kenya going to play the Modus. This is a professional outfit, a very big tournament. Karibu sana, Mr. Wachiuri. Mr. Wachiuri is not as experienced as the rest of the field in terms of play, but he's very skilled for him to have qualified. Mr. Wachiuri has played darts for the last 6-7 years. Karibuni sana. And now I hand over to the host, Mr. Daniel Karori. Please take over.
Thank you, Jeff, and good morning, everyone. Now, my name is Daniel Karori. I'll be leading this conversation here, and we'll be going through down the memory lane to where we are at now in terms of darts. That's why we have Mr. Kubai on the podium. So, Mr. Kubai, maybe we can start with you and tell us a bit more about how was it in the 70s and the 80s in terms of the game. Maybe you can give us the memory of how vibrant it was back in the day.
Good morning, everyone. In the, let's say, late 60s to come to 70s, but I'll start my experience from early 80s. I started playing for Nairobi in 1979. That's when I joined Matumbo. Now, Kenya Darts Association was still there, but the provincial level was very strong because we had Nairobi province, Central province, almost every district or we were about 7. Kenya is divided in Central province, Northeastern, and all that. So every Central province was very strong. Nairobi province, as you know how it is divided. Nairobi was very strong, so everybody was heading to Nairobi. There was a big challenge over the other provinces. And I remember Kenya Darts had arranged in such a way that each and every part of Kenya will share a tournament. And that's why even the chairman was mentioning that soon we are going to Mombasa or Kilifi or whatever. We used to have Nairobi, Kisumu, Rodoreti, Kitare, Meru, name everywhere, Thika, and all that. That was started booming early 80s, and that's when sponsors started coming up. They started sponsoring games. We had the biggest sponsor. In fact, the small sponsors like Pan-African Insurance, they also sponsored games, early 80s. By 1985, that's when the biggest sponsor came, which is Sarit Center. That is after completing their building here, so they had to do some advertisement for that. After, that was 1985. So everything was coming up. The game was really catching up. Sarit Center, we were about 750 entries. We started the game from Friday up to Sunday. Now, after Sarit Center, that's when KBL, Festival of Darts, came up after about 2 years, 1987. So KBL, they were advertising their beers, the small one, Tusker Export. They came up very heavily sponsoring our game. And everybody enjoyed it because number one was getting about 20,000. During those years, 20,000 was a lot of money. We went on, but after late 90, the game started going down. 1991, towards 200, the year 2000, the game went down. So about a decade, the game has gone down. Now, after a decade, the game now is trying to catch up. And that's when we started now getting Buffalo and other companies coming up, sponsoring, and a lot of actions. But KDA is still there, our chairman is still there, and they have been monitoring us. I don't know what we are planning to do, but from now I know the game is going to catch up. We have one of our players who is going to UK, and we are very proud of that. Okay. I would only recommend that he keep up the good job, don't get frustrated, no Cold War, don't worry about that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kubai. Maybe you can tell us a bit, what made it the darts game appealing for the fans and the players back in the day? How would it be looking forward to a match day, looking forward to an event, participation? Because 700 was a huge number back in the day. There must be something that you're doing right. Maybe you can share a bit about that.
Let's say the venue sometimes matters, and also the sponsor also matters, because nowadays you find that the sponsor can sponsor a game in a central area whereby everybody can afford to come. But we have a lot of players in Kenya, but the only problem now is finance. Finance is really hitting hard to the players, because somebody from Nakuru coming to town or coming all the way to Nairobi, and you know when you come to Nairobi, you fight Kama and the Kama will beat you. So sometimes they relax. That's why you find we don't have many players in our open tournaments. But to encourage them, that is something that we have to do a lot of groundwork. Because, for example, now we are going to have a game in Maridi. A lot of people will say, all the way to Maridi, I spend about this much and then get this much. So you start balancing your finance. That is why you find that we may have a lot of tournaments going on and the players are few. But those years, traveling was easy. The fee was very, very reasonable. Money had value. Nowadays, you can see the Kenya shillings has got no value. Let's say the value is, you can spend even 10,000 and you don't find yourself going down. That's why you find it is not booming like it used to be.
Okay, thank you. You are an official of Kenya Festival of Darts. I think many of us grew up watching Kenya Festival of Darts on our TVs every weekend. It was a huge thing with KBLs and other sponsors coming in to make darts memorable. Those are the memories we have as kids. And as we can see, you are an official of the Festival of Darts. Then after that stopped, there was a lot of decline in the game. Maybe you can share your thoughts around that and how do we bridge that gap in the new age?
Actually, in Kenya, when the Festival of Darts, the body, the KDA, when they started selecting officials, Matumo, we were famous, the club, we were very sharp people, we used to play very well. So they came and selected one or two players from our area to be officials. When we went to Braeburn, not Braeburn, Kenya Theatre, because that's where we started festival, I was an official and also a player for demonstration. And my official was anticipator. Anticipator, you see that cameraman, if you tell him to point where 20 is, like you see in the PDC UK, how they monitor the camera. So I was behind the cameraman telling him what to do, where to direct the camera as an official. That is anticipator. So there's something that I really don't, people enjoy KBC, and we had Festival of Darts was there, yes, and there was also Pan-Africa Insurance, they also sponsored and it was appearing also in the TV. But Festival of Darts lasted for more than 5 years or 6 years in the TV, and I know some of us here were very young, so they were watching it and were enjoying it. I know even today, we can fight our way around and make sure that at least there is we normally get results of football. We can also get darts. We spare time in the TV and get a channel whereby TV can, we can have darts the way the darts is being run in Kenya, where competitions are going on. We don't know which channel, because now KBC used to dominate because there was no other channel. But now there are so many channels, even if they bring it to KBC, maybe some of us are not, they don't favor to watch KBC, they watch Citizen or KTN. So I don't know how we can bring it in the television again.
Yeah, I'm glad we have the people from the media. Maybe they can help us answer that question. Now, in the new era, Manpreet, you've been playing for the last 20 years, 15, 20 years. So we can say you are the new generation of, or let's say the mid-generation from the decline of that stage. Maybe you can share a bit of your journey of the impact of the decline of the sports in the new era. How has it been within the market?
Good morning to all. The impact of decline in the last 15 years has been mainly due to strategy, maybe not the right people running it. Now that we have KDA who are more serious people looking into the sport, we're heading right back into the right direction. But strategy and growth in the last 10 years has not been there. For example, I take BDG for instance. The last 2 years, we've had a team go to Cape Town for more exposure. We have Wachiuri going to Modus. So these are players who are going out to get more exposure, create that sport bigger in our country now as well. So I think having more tournaments, having more international tournaments as well, will bring that decline back up now, and that's the way we need to look forward to. So I think that's the way we need to go now in the next 5 years or 6 years. So I think with Wachiuri going will be opening a lot of doors for us now.
So, looking at you, you've played in different sports. You are the champion for the Asian. There is an Asian community darts tournament that goes on. Also, there is the festival that is called Friends of
Festival of Friendship.
Festival of Friendship, where you have over 5,000, 10,000 players playing in that within the Indian community. So maybe you can share a bit on the impact that has had in the community and the growth of the different sports in the different categories that are entered in there for you.
Festival of Friendship contains a lot of sports. The Asian community comes together to play different types of sports. I play darts. So in the last 10 years, every year the darts community has kept on growing. This year we had almost 100 entries for singles and over 50 doubles teams. So it's growing every year. People have interest in the sport. They follow a lot of darts. So people have that interest, but they're looking for the right platform to display their talent. So I think we need to create that the platform for people to display their talent, so we can have more players like Wachiuri come in front and present the country as well later on.
So I think it's a discussion that we need to keep going, because for the last 2 years, as Chairman Jeff said, within the Buffalo franchise of the African Darts Group, we've really opened up the stage and we've set up pace in the darts arena. This, we can say, emanated from the COVID season when darts just blew up. Because darts is a game where you don't need a lot of infrastructure to set up, even at homes, in homes or in organizations. Most places we go, you see a dart board, but people never really look and see what is it for. Some look at it as it's just a feature in someone's house. Some play, some used to play, they no longer play. So during COVID, there was the rise of the darts game. And that is how the Buffalo Darts franchise came in. That gave us the ideas to see, okay, there are people playing darts at different levels. There's a league, the KDA league every week. But then what? Because as KDA, as the chairman has said, they take care of the amateur side of the sport. But looking at the growth of the sports, different sports in the last few years, there's the amateur side run by federation and the professional side run by someone else. So that is where the Buffalo Darts Group came in, and we looked at this opportunity and thought, well, can we be able to professionalize the sport and take it to the next level and tap into these opportunities that the PDC, which is the biggest arena in darts, the stages that they are providing people, bringing in brands together, bringing in top players, the entertainment aspect of it. Because remember, sports has a lot of emotional connection with the different people that watch it and the people that play. All those moments, watching a dart game for 10, 15 minutes, all those moments come together. this is the only sport where you find the players participate in the entertainment side as well as the professional side when they play. So this is a great opportunity that we identified and said, why don't we have this in Kenya? And that's how we started reaching out to the people who are closest to that, and the closest we could get was the African Darts Group. The African Darts Group is headed by the first or the major professional African darts player. His name is Devon Peterson from South Africa. He's been playing in the PDC since around 2011, so he has been the face of Africa at the darts stage. So when we reached out to him, then there were these plans to expand the professional darts in Africa, and that is how we came in and said, look, we can be doing that in Kenya, and we formed the first franchise, which is the Buffalo franchise, and we started playing in the professional African Darts Series League. So it's a whole series of about 20, 30 games that each and every pro player plays over 3 seasons within a year. So how we tabulate everything, the table is the same across Africa. So regardless of where you are playing from, whether you are in Botswana, you are in Namibia, you are in South Africa, you are in Kenya, we all play against each other, but we are tallied within the same ranking. So the ranking is online, it's within the system, so we actually know who is leading in Africa right now and how the table changes. It's played every weekend, we play it on every Friday in Westlands, and now we have grown into 3 franchises. We have another franchise in Nakuru called the Flamingo, and we just recently opened another franchise around Kasarani area, because the Buffalo is domiciled around Westlands, around Kasarani area, called the Blue Zebras. So they have also just started. So that way we've been able to provide players opportunities to participate and be ranked against pros across the world, and that's how these opportunities came in. Looking at the numbers within Kenya, I think we've grown exponentially from the early 2023 to now, where we started with around 20, 25 players. Now we are about 60 fully focused league players in just one franchise, and growing. And then we have had the opportunities to now start participating in international events and being ranked across the world, where there are other people watching across the world to see how is the talent in Kenya, what is going on there, and we are bringing in the buzz back. And the major testimony was the PDC Africa qualifiers that we had in September, which was a great success, not because we hosted it here, but because of the presence. I think the major part of the game was to showcase what Kenya has, and we were able to stream the tournament, and those moments that the tournament brought in, we created an international buzz that we didn't think we would. Looking at our live streams, we had like 2,500 people watching each and every game, and most of those hits were actually from outside Africa. So, and it created all this buzz on what is going on. And from that tournament and the emotions that the game created and the competition and the sportsmanship and the entertainment value that we brought in, that is how Peter Wachiuri was discovered by the international market. And that is how he has earned his invitation, the first player to play in the Modus Super series. And the fans are buzzing. When we announced that Wachiuri is going to be there, this is the only guy who was trending that week, because everyone was looking forward to see who is this Wachiuri who entertained us so much during that period. So, Wachiuri, now that you're with us, maybe you can let us know, na utuambie vizuri, ulianzaje game, background yako na pahali darts iliingiana. Sasa mpaka unaenda UK, unaweza tuambia safari yako imekuwaje so far?
Good morning everyone. Safari yangu ya kuanzia darts, si kuanzia ati nafikiria naenda mahali. Actually nilianzia tu kwenda tu kujifurahisha tu. Mahali kuna wazee hivi unaenda tu, nakuta wazee unaangalia wenye wanafanya. Baadaye nikakuja kugundua kumbe naweza rusha. Unaona wa mzee unamwambia huwezi nipiga, anakuambia nitakupiga. So kwa hiyo majibizano mnapigana tu hapo, unaona yenyewe mnapiga, so unapata tu encourage, unaendelea tu ukiendelea.
So umekuwa na opportunity kuparticipate kwa league Kenya or tournaments, na kwa miaka ngapi umekuwa ukicheza darts, na maybe unaweza tuambia challenges zenye umepata na successes zenye umepata hiyo period?
Kwa kweli kucheza Kenya nimecheza sasa kwa miaka kitu 4 hivi, lakini kuanzia nimecheza kama miaka 7-6. Exposure ndio inahitajika cha muhimu sana. Alafu sasa shida ni pesa ya kwenda kwa mahali events ziko. Kabla upate hiyo hela, wewe maybe mtu akibarua, kabla upate hiyo hela ndio uweze kuspend uende kwa hiyo game, inakusumbua sana. So huko chini kuna vijana wengi pia wanaweza fanya vizuri, lakini pesa mfukoni ndio shida. Hawapati nafasi ya kujitokeza. Yeah. So saa zile game ilikuja karibu na mimi, kuna wakati ilikuja Goma na nilifanya vizuri, so nikajua kumbe naweza fanya vizuri. Nikasanya pesa, kuna game nyingine ile anaonsiwa mahali, nikafuata tu pia, nikaenda nikalima watu, nikaona hiyo kitu kumbe iko sawa, na nikaendelea tu hivyo.
So ukiangalia hii opportunity ambayo umepata ya kwenda UK to represent the new face of darts in Kenya, wewe ndio utakuwa mwakilishi wa kwanza wa the new era of darts. Tumetoka from siku za Girigasha when he used to play in the World Cup back in the day, to siku za kina Munyui wakicheza World Cup each and every year, to now the face of Kenya as Wachiuri representing us kwa mara ya kwanza. Una feel aje? Matarajio yako ni gani? Maybe unaweza share with us your feeling.
Niko na furaha na raha pia niko nayo, lakini siko na fikira ati naweza fika hapo. Ni ile tu bidii tu mtu anafanyanga tu hapo, Mungu anakusaidia, unaelekea mbele. Sasa macho yangu tu nafungua tu nikutane na mtu kama Little mwenye alishinda World Cup, na mbele pia naenda kuja kumzama.
Okay, Wachiuri, maybe pia unaweza tuambia a bit of darts. Inajulikana hata in the developed world, ni game ya mtu wa kawaida, ni game yenye ambao unakuta hata watu wana participate. Mtu wako na day job, mtu ni delivery man, mtu mwingine ni plumber, mtu mwingine ana construction site. Ni game ya mtu wa kawaida because of the easy setup na being able to play very well on your own against yourself. So wewe kuturn from kuwa amateur, mtu wa mtaani wa kucheza ile game inapatikana na kulima watu, to going to that stage where you have an opportunity to turn pro, una feel aje? Inakupatia pressure, inakupatia motivation, ama ikwaje? Maybe unaweza share with us a bit.
Cha muhimu kwa hii mchezo, lazima uwe na discipline yako mwenyewe. Lazima, sababu mchezo mingi wanga zinachezwa kwa club. Wengi ni wale wanaweza maybe sema wanakunywa pombe ndio mcheze. Hapana, lakini hapana. Hii mchezo lazima wewe mwenyewe discipline yako uimaintain. Kama unajua wewe huwezi kunywa pombe na umeweza kulegeza ile kitu iko, usifanye hivyo. Lakini wengi hawakunywi pombe na wanacheza vizuri. Tena hiyo kwenda huko UK, yenyewe ni raha. Kuna raha. Naweza sema kitu kingine. Ni raha tu.
Okay, thank you, Wachiuri. Now, in terms of organization, you've had a bit of the drinking part of the game and the professional playing part of the game. Over the years, as a chairman, he can attest to us that sponsorship in darts and the decline in darts came through when people started feeling that darts is a bargain, without looking at the other social aspects of it, where you have communities, families come together, and all these different people coming in. So, what advice maybe you would tell us, Mr. Kubai, moving forward? Because we need sponsorships for these players. How do we work better to attract the kind of sponsorship we need for players within the darts community?
Let's say if you compare the years back, these days, you know, before there was no manners with the darts. When you are playing, you can smoke, you can drink, you can have your beer there while you are still on the stage, behind your player, and all that. But early 80s, we started introducing our own Kenya Darts rules, whereby it is still there because we stopped drinking on the hook. You cannot drink. You are not allowed to drink there. You are not allowed to smoke. We started all these behaviors. No long shirts, only short sleeve and with a collar. And you are not supposed to wear jeans. So all these rules we introduced, and also drinking. Nowadays you find, okay, some dart boards are near the bar, but when the player is playing, is not allowed to touch beer. And some people are used now to play without drinking. They drink after or they drink before. But while they are playing, they behave well. Because this matter of wearing jeans, corduroy, or even wearing kofia, and keeping distant from your prayer, because you are supposed to be 3 feet behind your prayer always. But nowadays you find people, they don't keep a distance. Sometimes we are congested, but in some areas it is well organized, whereby you can keep distance, you don't see beer. Because in the early 80s and all that, unless I see my 2 beers on the table, and that's the time I play a very good game. But nowadays you can play without drinking or without having a beer on your table, and people are behaving, are improving, they are changing their behavior. So we are thinking that in the near future there will be a lot of discipline, and darts is not supposed to be only in the bar. Because I remember we used to do selections at Nyayo National Stadium, whereby there's no beer, and we are doing selection for KDA or for this festival. Sometimes it used to be there and there's no beer. So we do the selection there without going to the bar and all that. So I think on the side of beer, people have tried to behave themselves.
Thank you, Mr. Kubai. And for Buffalo Darts Group, I've seen or I've experienced events where we have very young children, women and families playing. It's more of how we package the sports for sponsorship and to involve more communities. Manpreet, maybe you can tell us how in setting up these games, looking at the Buffalo Darts Group, how do you set up in a way that we are able to attract the right fan base and the right sponsors into our game? Maybe you can tell us a bit more about that.
The way Buffaloes has been set up, we're very diverse. We have young children, women, and we have professionals playing at the same time. Like talking about young children, we have a very, very good youngster coming up called Aryan Khalsa. He's a 13-year-old right now currently playing in the Pro Elite with the big boys. So I think if we have a strong infrastructure, we will attract the right people and the right sponsors to take the game forward. So right infrastructure, more tournaments which they can sponsor, and have more sit-downs with them and explain more about the game.
In terms of Wachiuri's success, how do we leverage on this opportunity to create the new era of darts in Kenya?
Wachiuri is the face of darts now, so we're going to use that as, for example, Buffaloes has given Wachiuri the chance now to go to Modus now. He's done that through the Buffaloes League, so that shows that Buffaloes League has a mission, has a strategy to take people professionally to the next step. So I think we use his success now to build on it now and take more players further ahead and more successful as well.
Okay, thank you. So Wachiuri, in terms of now your journey to the UK, the preparation, there is a huge budget behind that. And how would you urge the Kenyan community to come forward and support you to ensure that we achieve this milestone as a country?
Kwa kwenda kwangu kwa UK itagharamika sana, kutakuwa na gharama. So ningeomba tu Wachiuri's wani support ndio tuweze kutimiza ile kitu iko mbele yetu.
Okay, I think it's a great opportunity here for everyone at the Kenyan community to see how do we support these individuals who are coming through this system. Because of the Buffalo Darts Group and the Sirua Darts Group, we'll do as much as possible to prepare, create these opportunities for these stars to come up. But now, taking it to the next level, that is where we will need a lot of support, especially from the media, to be able to cover our games, to be able to keep this conversation going. We have a league every Friday. It would be easy to just even have standings of the league on your papers or on your columns to show that people there's something that's going on, to make it easy for us within Sirua Darts Group to actually even be able to sell and showcase all these talents that we have to the different sponsors that we need. Also the different supports from the different groups. That's, as I say, it's more of connecting brands to those key moments. I believe that's in the UK right now is number 2 after football, is it? I think it's overtaken rugby in terms of visibility and the views and the fanship. So it's a great opportunity for us as well to take it back to the glory days and take this into the next level. So Wachiuri being part of this, going to the Modus Super series, representing us as an international stage, is huge for us. You would see when we announced that he was going and he was invited, he was even covered by the Sun newspaper because the fans and the buzzing that came in during that period. When the biggest tournament, the PDC World Championship, was there was a great game going on between a guy from the Barbados, is it Barbados? Bahamas, who entertained the crowd very much. And funny enough, Wachiuri started trending because now the fans were saying, we want to see Wachiuri and the guy from Bahamas on the same stage to entertain us. And he was not even playing. Ulikuwa mbonge, hata ulikuwa unajua trend. Alikuwa na trend Twitter, and there was all this within the darting community ranking his impact. From the World Championship, which was won by the youngest player ever, Luke Littler, who is a star on his own level, Wachiuri was number 4 in terms of the most influential people during that tournament. So you can get the impact that Wachiuri's moment during the PDC World Championship, the impact, those emotions, how the connection that he created with the fans, without even knowing that came in. So to wrap us up, maybe Mr. Kubayo can tell us, moving forward, how do you see this moment opening the gates for us in taking that into the new era?
Well, what I would like to maybe I just comment on that, because I can see our chairman KD is here and he's the head of everything in Kenya. We are looking forward to have more sponsors come on board. And to have sponsors, we must organize ourselves like Buffalo is doing. So the same thing happens to all the bodies, whether it's Nairobi County or any other company. We need to organize ourselves so that we can attract sponsors. Because with our own contributions, sometimes we are meeting our target, but you need a sponsor to add something on top so that at least we can get somewhere. Because nowadays, even calling first prize 20,000, you find that numbers don't add up well. So we need to go higher. If 1980s we were doing 20,000, and now we are how many years up? We need to do something. Like, for example, PDC, they are doing very well. They are offers. So many companies has got offers. If you finish with 9 darts, maybe there's an offer. If you do this, there's an offer. Here in Kenya, we need to do those offers so that when players are playing, like for example, we used to have 180 in 1980s. If you hit 180, you get a certificate and you get 180 shillings. Nowadays, even if you hit 5 180s, If you hit more than your colleague, that's the time maybe you get 1,000 shillings or 2,000 shillings. And you can imagine the work you do to put 3 darts there. So we need sponsors to come up and the organizers to come up, think about it, raise the fee. You either raise the fee for entry or you give us more money. Otherwise, you find that the numbers are not turning up in large numbers. You are getting very few players coming. It's not that they cannot afford, but they look at what am I going to get there? What is my take? So to attract people, I think we need to look for sponsors, whereby a sponsor can come and sponsor 100,000 or 50,000 without looking at your entry fee. That way, I think we will attract more players. Like, for example, now, me, I'm going to participate. If you put any tournament now here in Nairobi or anywhere, I'll come. I'm not retired. I'm still active. Even my colleagues, they know. You play league with these guys in Nairobi. Sometimes I come to Buffalo. I've come to Buffalo several times, but nowadays I'll resume and come over and we challenge each other. So, to attract our players, first of all, we organize our house. And KDA is here, I know they are organizing their house. Then we come to club level. We organize our club level management. Once we do that, you find that's attracting a lot of players, even new players or old players who are retired with their dads at home. They wake up, say, oh, there's money there, so let's go. So please attract people with what you are offering on the table. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kubai. And at Sirua, it's more of making sure more of these events and this exposure is there, all these professional players and amateur players with all these opportunities going. Manpreet, maybe to close us off, how do we ensure that the dart sports become sustainable in the long term, the momentum that we've created? Maybe you can share.
To keep the momentum going, KDN and Buffalo have to join hands and hold bigger tournaments. Not only leagues, but tournament after tournament. So, some could be international, or go to South Africa and play with their team and create that opportunity. The only way to sustain this is have more tournaments and bigger prize money, like our senior man has said, and have more sponsors on board.
Okay, thank you, Manpreet. Now, Wachiuri, umegrow kwa game, sasa ni wewe tunakuangalia kama superstar wetu. Now, last words in terms of advice gani unapatia the youth, women, individuals who would like to join the sports and how best they can work their way up?
Kwa mayouth ama wale watu wanataka kujoin hii mchezo, ni mchezo very easy. Ile tu kitu unafaa kufanya tu ni throw zako 3 unahesabiwa. Even if you score 3 marks inatolewa, but end of the day utaachieve ile kitu unatafuta hapo.
Okay, Wachiuri, thank you very much. If you are to summarize your journey, tupe jina moja and the feeling yenye uko nayo sasa.
Kwa safari yangu
jina moja tu.
Mungu mbele.
Manu, one word to summarize the journey so far.
Exciting.
Exciting. Mr. Kubai, the journey so far?
Success.
Success. Okay, and for me, I think it's groundbreaking moments like this that we create a whole journey into the new era of darts, and we are happy that everyone is on board, and let's do this. Over to you, Jeff.
Thank you, our panelists. That was a very engaging talk, very enlightening. We've learned a lot from Mr. Kubai, Manpreet, and Wachiuri. Thank you very much, Dan. Now we open for question and answer, 10 minutes. Then we can go right to the main event, which will be unveiling of Wachiuri, signing of the contract with Minmao. So question and answer. Anyone with a question to our panelists? Any clarification you want to know? Okay.
My name is Ron Otieno from Citizen. We spoke a lot about in terms of the financial strains that the Dart players are facing since 2000 until now. And recently in the Nakuru tournament, where our star player Peter was clashed with Geoffrey Kahuria, and also the ladies tournament where a lady walked out with 20,000 and Geoffrey walked out with 50,000. And in terms of the economic status of this tag right now, 50,000 is a little bit constraining, or can be a little bit stretchy. So, are you looking forward to work with the government in terms of the financial constraint that the Dart players are facing at the moment, and also expand the Dart players, payslip in one or another?
Thank you for that question. Yes, and last year we started the conversation with the government, with the chairman of the KDA and us, where we were able to present our case for them to be able to support us to host the events, which would have created a better kitty. And we still have that conversation this year, because last year I think the biggest challenge was to ensure that we actually prove the concept. We've told them that we can do this, we can bring an international events into Kenya. Now we did it. Now we brought it and showcased, and they were there. The ministry was represented at the event to see how well it was organized and how successful it was. Now we are going back there again, because they said we need to have more and more conversations to see how best we are able to sustain the sports moving forward. So we are looking for a positive result this year, because again we are hosting the PDC World Championships, because it was very successful the first time in Africa, that they said we need to host it again. So we are looking forward for the government engagement. We also spoke to the county government of Nairobi, so they were also aware, but I think it's more about timing and budget constraints on their end, but we look forward with better planning this year to have them coming.
Good morning, my name is Bradley from Capital FM. I have a question, to be specific, to Wachiuri Peter. First of all, let me start by congratulating you for your achievement. I don't know, but I'll ask this. When are you traveling? Because we know that you're supposed to be leaving for the UK later this month. So my question is, when are you traveling? Do you have a specific date that you'll be leaving? And to add on to it, how far or how is your preparation in terms of your trainings? How far have you gone with them? Are you confident that you're ready to hoist the country's flag high when you get to the UK? And maybe the last one is, in as much as you may not know what to have, but we just love to know, what should we as Kenyans expect when you get there? Just like you'll allow me to politicize this a bit. Yesterday you had Right Honorable Raila Odinga saying if he wins the AUC, it is okay. And again, if he doesn't win, it is still okay. So what about you?
Wacha nianzie na hiyo swali kwanza. To travel on 22nd, because the event near 24th, this month. Preparation now. Ni mazoezi tu hiyo, lazima, lakini niko na 1 week ya kufanya, kuna vitu sijafanya. For the last month nilikuwa nafanya maneno na grouping. So this last week nafanya nifanye maneno na finishing. Sababu hata kuwa na grouping nzuri bila finishing nzuri, pia mwenzako anaweza toka nyuma na kulimba. Then kitu ya kusafiri sasa, ama nikienda huko mahali itatokea, hapo ndipo nitashukuru Mungu, lakini na hope the best.
Peter, kidogo nitakuuliza tu tena, maybe to somebody who doesn't understand what grouping is and what finishing is, would you maybe clarify a bit, ndio mtu aweze kuelewa preparation yako imefika kiwango gani? Hiyo grouping ilikuwa nini na finishing sasa hii yenye unaenda kufanya ni gani?
Okay, kwa grouping inamaanisha una throw 3 darts in one house or you just target something. For example, here's the ball with me. Sana wachezaji wengi nilikuwa mmoja wao. Mahali kwanga tunalenga. So hapa ndipo grouping sana. Of which wengi sana kwanga tunatafuta hapa. Because hapa ndipo panabeba max mingi. Finishing nayo inakujia hapa tu. Lazima utumie ile nia juu. Kukata game. Na pia hapa. Na huenda pia kunalingana na ile max pia umebakisha. Because finishing unaanzia from 170. Kwa grouping kama unajua kugroup vizuri, lazima uweke hapa mshale mbili alafu malizie na macho. Hiyo ndio inaitwa big fish. Game ya big fish. Lakini mingi zinaanzia kuisha kutoka 170. Na bila grouping ama bila target hauwezi manage.
Peter, my name is Alan from TV47, and my question for you is basically, how did you qualify for this tournament? Because mainly the work of the media is to help a layman understand. So how did you qualify for this UK tournament, and how are you going to pave way for the others to participate? And also to the chairman, how are you planning to nurture young talent in the country? Because there's nothing, for now that Peter's made it, you also have to look at the younger talents and see where they're going to go. So what is your plan towards that?
Maybe I can take the first one on qualification, because he's a representative. So how to participate in the Modus series, Africa is grouped into 2. There is the Southern African side and the Northern African side. So East and North Africa is what the Buffalo Darts Group handles and the tournaments that we run for qualifications. And then the Southern African part is managed from SA, taking care of the Botswanas, the Namibias, and all those countries. So what happens is Modus Super Series has given us 4 slots and a World Cup slot this year. So 4 for the North and 4 for the South. So for the North, the first one coming in February, the person who was nominated to represent the North was Peter Wachiuri, because he was the runner-up of the PDC World Championship qualifiers. He lost to Cameron Carolison of South Africa, who represented Africa as a continent in the PDC World Championship. So him becoming the runner-up for that event, it was only right for him to represent the North on the first. But moving forward, the players who will be participating, there will be qualifiers for every Modus Super Series. There's a qualifier next month in March for the people going in May. There's another qualifier in May and June for the people representing Kenya in the World Cup in August. There's also another qualifier in August or early September for the people going to Modus in November. So there are qualification rounds. We have already prepared players and communicated that through the calendar. I think he can take the second question. Oh, Chairman wa KDA, okay.
Amjambo. As the chairman of Kenya Darts Association, we are recruiting the youth, and we started some years back with colleges. Now we have even leadership in colleges. And last weekend, we had our special general meeting where we we are going to review our position so that the youth are included in the leadership of darts. So we are going to get the youth into our system.
Thank you. Any other question?
My question will be directed to the management. You've really talked of you're facing a challenge of finance, that is in terms of sponsorship and also publicity for the game. You've called upon the media to help you make it known out there, the work that is going on. Now my question is, where did the rain start beating us at? Why is it not known in Kenya to this date? What has been the problem back there? What can you say has been the problem as to why it's not really known that there is this thing going on with the federation and the group?
Okay, thank you for that question. I think I don't know how we look at it, because the way we started and the way we positioned ourselves, we started this as a group of friends, of people who want to take darts into the next level. So for the last 3 years, it has been more of our personal commitment in terms of time and funds and networks to create the league, to provide opportunities, because even setting up for the league, you need like equipment, you need like tablets. We don't count using the boards, we use the tablets. So you require tablets for each board, you require clean boards which can be played at that level. So there was a lot of investment that is there. So the players currently who play in the league, they pay a fee to play in the league, to just take care of these issues and also to subscribe into some of these systems. We use a system called Darts Connect that is used around the world, and you pay for each and every player to be there. So a lot of what we've been doing is more of our connection with well-wishers and a few sponsors here and there to be able to promote the game. So there has been a lot of our time also coming into that, and speaking to people who see the value in the sport. And as you can see, we are having Winmau, resident director for Nodo, who are the ones who build these dart boards, the best dart board in the world, the pro dart board in the world, and the darts used by pro players are made here in River. So it's very funny that all these products are made here and we can't even access them, because it's EPZ, they have to go play with the pros. Even accessing some of this equipment, it's an amount of money you spend to have them. To have players playing with us. So for the last 3 years we've been building it, bringing in different people, bringing in different sponsors, having conversations, for example, with Nodo to see how they can support us on the equipment side, individual people who have been able to sponsor our games and our tournaments, and that is what we've been doing. I think the biggest part that we've been lacking is now the visibility of what is going on and what is happening. And that is something that we said this year we must be seen. So that's why we are having this event, to first of all just share like there's something that goes on, and we keep building on that. Because every Friday we have a league, pro league, top games, rankings, statistics. Every weekend we have them of the players who have played, and we look at the other players across Africa and see where they are, so that we know where we are. But no one is broadcasting that apart from us in our social media and our group. So we are very glad that you're all here, and we are happy that we are able to build this journey together. Please be reaching out to Penny on what is happening, what is the event. We are going to share with you our calendar of events. We have so many events this year. We have about 3 Africa Continental Tours, those are continental events. Then we have a whole Festival of Darts Week in September, where we will start with the Continental Cup. That will be the highest ranked players in the Africa Continental Tours going against each other, North versus South. Then we have a Kenya Open that same week. and we have the PDC World Championship qualifiers for Africa that same week. So that's a whole festival week for darts. So we need that to also be heard, to be seen. We have several Modus Super Series qualifiers. We have our internal event called the match play, played every 2 months. And also the Grand Slam of Darts, that is the last event of the year. So we appreciate that you are able to come here, and we ask that we continue building on this. We will create content for you, and for you is to be able to also share that content so that people know what is happening. We can have a commitment schedule on what we need to send you for you to be able to have this dart content going on. Invite you to this event so that you see what is going on at this level.
Thank you, Dan. As you have seen, the person who asked about what we are doing, this is the resurgence. This is a new face of darts. As he said, we started 3 years ago. Mr. Kubai was saying it was a whole big event in the 90s. So we want to partner with you and make it even bigger than how it was in the 90s. So it's work between us. We organize the events. You help us with the coverage, and everything else. The darts will actually grow and become international. It's a big sports event in the UK and the world, so let's make it together big in Kenya. I think I'll just take one more question and then we can go to the next. In case there is any.
With Mr. Peter venturing into the Europe and international scene, does it mean that we get to see some of the pros from the UK, from Europe, tapping into the Kenyan industry, or even collaborating somehow in local events in Kenya, or even doing a tour just to see what is happening in Kenya? When are we expecting this anytime soon?
I'd not like to preempt, but the goal is to get there soon. There are positive discussions with PDC and through the African Darts Group on how we take that to the next level. But we first of all need to create package the product. So that is the challenge that we have before we are able now to open the door for that, because it's also capital intensive. But it would be great in the next few years for Kenya to be considered as the hub of darts. Darts are made in the river, so why can't we be the pros here? We have people who play darts here for fun, and they are hitting numbers that people play at pro level. So if we're able to package that product in readiness for such an opportunity, that is the challenge that we have. And part of it again is the normal issue of capital and having to raise funds through sponsorship and making it easy sell for sponsors and funds to participate. The way the people are doing the rallies, the way we look forward for Mavaiga PGA Tour, we would also be glad if we have a PDC tour. They happen in Asia, they happen in Americas. Why not Kenya? And this is a serious market. It's something that we need to package and build to be able to showcase that we are able to pull the tour here and pull the pro players here. Because they're also looking forward to. The Wachiuri Trends, the world #1 participated in some of those charts, saying how it would be amazing to have to play in Kenya, in Africa, and the different thing that we offer is the fan base. During our show, the fan base, we even have people with vuvuzelas. And we say this is something new in the darts community. The fan base is buzzing, etc. And people are looking forward to see if we are able to provide those opportunities for them to come and play here. It's more of preparation than opportunity will meet that chance.
Thank you. Then I think we have finished the final Q&A question. So thank you, our panelists. I will ask Mr. Wachiuri to remain. The rest of the panelists can just leave the stage. So next, as they prepare for the contract signing, I want to take a brief moment and explain to you what we have here. This board is the best we can ever have in terms of quality. This is what is played at the international level, the highest competition in the world. And this board is made here in Kenya by Modus Darts APZ. Winmau is a brand, and these are triple core board, the best we can ever have in the market, and it's available here in Kenya, and it's manufactured here in Kenya by Modus Darts, and we have in our presence the group managing director of Modus Darts, that is Darren McCon. I think he's just coming. So Darren has been our partner in the PDC event that we had in September 2024 and the Africa Continental Tour. Winmau, that is a company under the umbrella of Modus Darts, was able to sponsor the whole event with 32 of these premium boats, and also the surrounds. As you can see, this is called a surround. This is a boat. They were able to sponsor the whole event. These are Kenyan company. These are UK company based in Kenya, and they have been very supportive. And when we went to them and approached them, and we told them that we have one of us who has been able to qualify from the last event that you supported us, they were able to come through, and they accepted our call to support Mr. Peter Wachiuri, who will be going to the UK as announced on the. He'll be participating in the Modus Super series on the 24th. So, Mr. Darren, please welcome, come forward and probably say a word or two. Just a word or two, or say hi to the guys.
Hi, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here and represent Nodo and the Winmau. And signing Peter, our first and hopefully not our last Kenyan professional. There's many good players I've witnessed myself. In fact, our MC here being one of them. Actually beat Devin Peterson in the PDC event. Yeah, so big hands up to him. There's also many players coming through. There's the young guy, his name is? Aryan Khalsa, also a very good player. Yeah, there's many people coming through, and it's very promising to see the Kenyan market and how it's approaching. Okay, thank you.
So, I would request the KDA chairman, please come forward. Dan, Secretary General Buffaloes, please come forward. Mr. Wachiuri, please come forward for the presentation and the contract signing ceremony between Peter Wachiuri and Winmau.
Move back. Just back there.
The contract has been signed, and now I'll ask Dan and Mr. Darren to come forward. They are presenting the kit that Peter Wachiuri will be wearing in UK in the Modus Super series. It's being provided by the kit by Winmau. You can see it's branded Winmau Blade 6. This is what will be he'll be wearing in the Modus Super series. Thank you very much. Probably we also have some darts. So these are purpose made for Peter Wachiuri. This will be Peter Wachiuri official darts made by Winmau. Thank you very much. Thank you everybody. Chairman, thank you very much. Darren, maybe you have a few highlights of the contract you want to, or that's fine?
Confidential.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone. And now we have come close to the close of our event. So I want to summarize a few points that we have been able to take out from this event that we have had just now. One of the key features is that the Buffalo's Darts Group with KDA are committed to grow and make the sport to reach the levels that we want it to reach. In terms of partnership, we are asking you, members of the media who are here, you continue partnering with us. Thank you very much, Winmau. Thank you very much, Kapla. You have been with us, you have worked with us. Kapla was also very instrumental in arranging our events last year in 2024, the ACTs and the PDC World Championship qualifier. We continue to ask other partners that we can partner and help them grow their sports in Kenya. Yeah, so thank you very much. And again, we are saying that we'll be having our league, and it's continuing. We play in the Sirua Gardens. So anyone who would want to come and witness top darts being played, professional darts being played, including the likes of Mr. Peter Wachiuri, Manpreet Kalsi. We play at Sirua Gardens. That is along Valley Road. We also have young players like Aryan Kalsa that we are bringing up. They also play with us. So we're also adding young players. Sports is the biggest employer for young players, and we're asking them to also join us in that. So that now we can have people being employed through playing the sports of darts. That's the same way we do football. So we have a photo session. We'll ask Joy, please come, and maybe you can direct the photo session.
Yes.
And then one next to your board, one next to your board. Either side of the board. Like that. One more time.
see the ducks? The ducks?
Go check them out.
Wachiuri along the machinery. Plus the board. Plus the board, yeah. Right there.
After this, anyone who wants to do an interview with any of these guys, you can just reach out. I know Wachiuri is doing one special one right now. And yeah, you can also use that background if you want. It's open for whatever you guys want to do. Thank you.
I think we're good. Oh, wait. KDC come. KDC come. KDA. Come with us. Come along, KDA. Sure.
Where's the display? We need a game. We need a game. Everyone brings.
He's done.
That's not really a game. Just one game. It will take 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Yeah. So see, this setup can be
Come on, beat. Body iko sawa? Haya, where's my guy? You know which there. This one, this no. Umeelewa? Whatever works for you, even if it's whatever, they can everyone remove whatever you want. Where's my guy? Weka kamera juu. Yeah. So you have to move ahead of it.
Yeah.
Set up one game here, you see the scoring, I'll be the referee. So, Mr. Wachiuri, we're waiting for you. You can draw practice darts here. So 6 practice darts.
Come here.
6 practice darts. 3 darts. So 3 final darts. Okay, Malia, so they are going to pull to start so that we know who starts first. Pulling is the one who will hit closest here, either half pull or pull. So each one will have one turn to throw at the pool. If they throw at the pool and they hit the outer ring, both of them, they start all over until the person who will hit the pool and the other person outside. So, pool. Outside, Mr. Wachiuri pool. Outside, Mr. Wachiuri to start pulling again. Outside, Mr. Wachiuri. Half pool, Manpreet to start. Game on, we're starting with 501. 501, Manpreet is counting down up to 0. That is 134 scored. That's 30 play. Not 83. That play. Mr. Manpreet is on a finish. He requires 87. 87. 51 played for 36. 78 played. Wachiuri, 24, is still getting used to the new darts. He's not used to playing with these darts. He has passed his score. Mr. Wachiuri, 174. Manfred, you require 9. Five score. Wachiuri, 159 required. $99 score. Manfred, you require 4. Two scored. Wachiuri, you require 60. $40 played. Manfred, you require 2. No score. Wachiuri require 20. You require 2. Basques, no score. Wachiuri require 5. No score. I think it's an out, or maybe the setup is not correct. It's not how they play. By this time, the game should have been over. Wachiuri, you require 5. Three score, they are both on number 1. You require 2. No score. Wachiuri, you require 2. They are all aiming for this. That is a bit tricky, but I think they set up, they did have time to over. Game shot and the match to Manfred Kalsi. That was an exhibition game. This is not how we usually play. We finished with 12 darts, 10 darts. So another member of the press who wants to come and practice or try to see how difficult, how easy it is, you can feel free. Thank you very much. Toa kofia wa kuchukua ukicheza.
Oreshe ndio wabeti na kitu. Na jacket, na jacket.
Gracias. Tunataka kuzitoa kwa background.